You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. This is podcast episode number 425. We got a lot to discuss today, guys. We got my anime watch list. We got some console talk, guys. It's the future, technically, of the gaming industry, like the real near future. If I'm being honest, I'm going to talk about retro gaming, some backlog. I'm also going to talk about my son. Yes, my 12-year-old son. He's in here and he's just shined some light on some things for me personally. And I want to talk about that as well. Also, some Nintendo news. It's always some Nintendo shit going on out here, guys. But without further ado, guys, let's begin the show. And I want to start out with my anime watch list. And I want to talk about what I'm currently watching right now and what I'm about to watch, what I'm really looking forward to watching. First, let's start out with what I'm watching. What I'm watching right now are two anime. One is called Convenience Store Boyfriend. And I just started it. Only watched a couple episodes. Really liking it so far. It's one of those teen slice of life romance, I guess, all mixed into one type of thing. I don't know what it is about these, but I can't get enough of them. I find a good one, I'm going to keep watching. But that's one. And then I went way back. Well, I'm not going to say way back, but I'll say 2017 way back, because that's when I first saw this in its entirety. And I'm talking about Naruto. Yes, finally time to go back and get another watch. And I've done this with Dragon Ball so many times. I probably watched the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, and well, just those probably a dozen times, guys. Okay. And now I'm going technically through my second initial watch, I guess, of its entirety. Now, I've went back and watched episodes before, but I decided, you know what? I want to go back and just watch it all over again. And I'm just stunned by some of the stuff I missed, some of the stuff I forgot, because the series is long as fuck. Let's keep it real. And so 720 episodes in all. It's a pretty beefy anime, guys. Okay. No, it's not going to hold up to One Piece. One Piece has just got too many. An average, I guess, anime watcher would say that Naruto is pretty extensive as well. 700 plus episodes is a lot of episodes, guys, but it's a great, awesome 720 episodes. And I'm early. I think I'm I think I'm episode 24 right now. So yeah, I think they're doing the tuning exams. The beginning exams, I think. I can't remember which exams it is, guys. I just know it's episode 24 and they're taking exams and shit. And they're at the area where, you know, they have to find a way to cheat without getting caught. That's pretty much the best way I can sum it up. And that's where I'm at. So it's just so much that went into Naruto that makes it an awesome anime. I could talk about Naruto for hours, to be honest with you guys. It's the first anime that I saw that, I'm not going to say put Dragon Ball to shame, because I'm always going to love Dragon Ball. It's like numero uno. It's the whole reason why I even watch anime. And for those who are listening to this podcast and who are new, that is part of my anime story. Dragon Ball, of course, is the one that kind of, you know, gave me that segue into this whole beautiful, fantastical world, right? And Naruto is the first anime that really made me question what I thought I knew when it came to anime. Okay. I thought Dragon Ball was the creme de la creme. I thought there was nothing that could top it, stop it, whatever. Right. And when I saw Naruto, I realized that this shit is on a whole nother level as far as the writing of a lot of the characters. I'll say that, because there are some awesome things in Dragon Ball that I like more, but Naruto just has, to me, it's like a perfect meal. You got your main course, you have your side, and then you also have your drink. And when all that is done, you have a dessert. So I just really love Naruto, and I just decided to watch it again, and I'm really enjoying myself with it. Also, while I'm caught up in all this Naruto fandom, you know what I mean, I just got curious, and Kakashi is my favorite character. If you guys aren't familiar with the series, or if you are and you just was wondering who do you love, and it's Kakashi. Kakashi is probably one of my all-time favorite anime characters of all time. But anyway, there are 2 books out on him. I was aware of one of them, and I always said I was going to get to it and read it one day. But I saw them, found them both, flagged them. Well, I'm going to say flagged them, saved them on my Amazon list or whatever. So I'll definitely be going back and grabbing those. And they're fairly cheap, too. I think both of them are under $10 a piece. So, you know, I think they're about 185 pages or so long. So not too long of a read, but just enough to kind of, you know, put you where you want to be. And yeah, man, I was always fascinated with what Kakashi was going to do, or what he even did after the 4th Ninja War, right? And if you aren't familiar with the series, he lost his Sharingan. And it's, you know, some people were arguing that because he lost that, he was weaker, but quite the contrary, he was not. But I could go on for hours and hours, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just, you know, tell you guys I'm just in my Naruto zone right now. And I recently just purchased a game that I was really trying to play. It's 2 of them, actually. One is called Naruto Rise of a Ninja. That's the first one. And then the second part to that is Naruto, I think is The Broken Bond, right? And these are RPGs. These are Naruto RPGs. Now, some of my favorite games are anime RPGs. Like, one in particular is Dragon Ball Attack of the Saiyans on the Nintendo DS. And it's a turn-based Dragon Ball RPG, which is awesome. And it's great. So I'm always down for a dope RPG, but when you got Naruto in here, man, you're tripping, right? So the only caveat to this is you have to have an Xbox 360 to play it, and it's exclusive to that system. And so thankfully it was not too expensive used, or you know what I'm saying? I got it for like $30, and it should be here in the next couple of days. So I should get a chance to play it Tuesday or Wednesday. So if you guys also didn't know, on a side tangent, I got my son an Xbox 360 for Christmas. That's what he wanted. He has an Xbox Series X and loves it dearly. A couple Christmases ago, he got Prototype 1 and Prototype 2, and he got it from a friend of his sister. And, you know, he didn't have anything to play it on. He thought he could play it on his Xbox Series X, but you cannot play every game backwards compatible on that. A lot of them, actually, if I'm being real. So, you know, it was kind of like a stalemate. And so I bought him the Xbox 360 for Christmas. We put it downstairs. It was going to be a community thing. I think I talked about this on another episode. And then he played Prototype for a while, for a couple hours, and then he never played it again. And, you know, I just sat down there, and my wife, we have like a 70-inch downstairs in the living room. So she watches a lot of TV down there, and she watches more than anybody. I don't think my son has ever really watched TV down there, maybe a couple times. And I've watched it down there a couple of times. And I got a new TV for the man cave, so I've been using that one. It's like a 50-inch, and I'm cool with that. And so I went and asked him the other day, I said, hey, man, do you mind if I move your Xbox 360 in the game room or whatever? Because you're not playing it, and I had some stuff coming in I wanted to play. He was like, yeah, no, I don't care. I'm not tripping. And, you know, so I have it sitting on my couch right now. I haven't even hooked it up yet, but I plan to do that later on. And I paid for this game, and I'm so excited to play it. You guys just don't understand how excited I am to experience this RPG. And then also the second one, which is a little bit more expensive, but not by a lot, which is The Broken Bond. And I plan on buying that one as well, probably in the next week or so. Once I start playing the first one, I want that one to be here and ready. So when I finish the first one, I can jump on the second one. So I'm having a really good time with the Xbox 360. I've fell down a huge rabbit hole, and I have compiled a list of games, probably about 30 or so, that I really want to, you know, collect for this. I've already had a couple of them. I was in the garage the other night, and I fucking stumbled upon an old box. I used to sell on eBay, for a hobby, right? This was years back, and I was going through some boxes in there, and I found one of the boxes that I had, and a lot of stuff was there that I never got a chance to sell. And one of the games was an Xbox 360 game that goes by Assassin's Creed 3. Perfectly good copy. So I said, so I snatched that out of there. My son gave me prototype 1 and 2. He gave them to me earlier today. And then I was at Movie Trading Company, which is an awesome gaming store if you're into retro stuff. And I picked up a battery pack for the 360 controller, a rechargeable battery as well. And I also picked up Wolfenstein, the one that was made in 2009. One of the games on my list. When I make lists, guys, I go extensive. I look into the game, I look at the reviews on the game, and I watch a lot of gameplay. And then if it makes the cut, I put it on my list as a game to collect for. Multiple systems, PS3, I got the same thing. So I've just been on my retro shit, and I've been buying games. So I plan on trying to play that a little bit these next couple of days. I don't have a lot of time to play right now because I'm working on a lot of shit, but that's one of the games I plan on trying to get into. But when Rise of a Ninja gets here, it's going down. But anyway, I've missed the 360 so much. I'm already getting nostalgia, goosebumps talking about it. But that is the game that should be here in a couple of days. Excited for that. I'm on my Naruto kick because of it. So I'm starting to rewatch Naruto. I'm going to get these Kakashi books, these Kakashi stories. Looking forward to reading those. So I'm just nerding out in the world of Naruto right now. And every year or two, I kind of fall into this zone. Same thing with Dragon Ball. A new Dragon Ball game will come out, or I'll get another game, or I'll get into a Dragon Ball game and I'll just get nostalgic, and I'll just, I'll dive back into that universe, and it's a cool thing, right? So there's a lot of awesome games on the Xbox 360, and I'm just head over heels excited about it. But anyway, let's get back to my fucking anime watch list when I segued way off into left field. But anyway, Naruto is the one I'm watching. I usually watch a few episodes before bed. That's kind of like my routine now for the last week or so. And then I want to watch a new anime that I keep hearing people talk about, and it goes by the name of Sentenced to Be a Hero. So it's basically about a bunch of people who aren't good guys. Keep that in mind. They're like crooks and shit. And they get locked up, and the only way to be free is to serve their time, and they have to serve their time actually doing good shit, saving people, doing things like that. Kind of like, I guess, Suicide Squad in essence. I guess that's the closest thing I can kind of resemble it with, but I keep hearing good shit about it. So I think the first episode is out. And then, of course, Jujutsu Kaisen is coming back for season 3. Oh my God, I cannot wait for this one. I've heard people talking about this shit for weeks, and it's coming out January 8th. So it's right around that fucking corner. Yeah, man, I think that's a Friday, the 6th, or a Thursday or something, but it's coming out this week, and I cannot wait. I'm trying to debate if I want to watch it week to week or not, because they said the first episode, I think they're dropping like 2 episodes back to back or something like that. So I don't know, man. I hate watching good shit that comes out and you have to wait a whole nother week for, the next episode. It kills me to do that. I love binging, man. Binging is my thing. I love discovering awesome shows or anime and, finding out that I have 2 or 3 seasons to watch. Kind of like I did with the Tulsa King, which I recently watched. I haven't watched this many fucking shows in this short period of time, and it's been years. So I finished Tulsa King 3 seasons, which is Sylvester Stallone series. Pretty dope, man. It's definitely a good show. And then A Landman, I finished season 1, and I think I watched 8 episodes already, and there's only 2 episodes left in season 2. So those are my 2 shows that I've been watching. The rest, when I get time, it's anime or whatever. So that's kind of what I've been watching and what I'm looking forward to watching. And yeah, man, that's my anime watch list. So now let's talk about what's been going on the internet, and everybody's been talking about it, and you can't run from it. Everybody's going to be affected, I think, in some form. And I'm talking about the chip shortage which I've talked about in extension so many times, guys, before. I've done videos on it and things of that nature. So, and I really don't know when this is going to end, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. And a lot of people are talking about the DRAM, the NAND flash, all this AI demand that's going on, and these supply chain costs is pretty much going on everywhere. And everybody's trying to let us know that get ready, because 2026 is going to be a hell of a year if you want to indulge in gaming, especially PC gaming, right? Cell phones, things of that nature. Asus, which is a big company who does the handhelds, they've just recently announced that they are going to be raising prices. Okay. Companies like Dell have already announced this as well. So, and many more. Okay. They're going to raise prices. It's not going to get any better. And the consoles, if we're being real, the consoles are going to be affected as well, because everybody who were, I guess, thinking that the systems like the PS6 was going to come out in 2027. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen now. And hey, if I'm being honest with you guys, that's a good thing in my opinion. A lot of us gamers, if you ask us, console gamers, will tell you nobody wants the PS6 right now. Nobody's checking for the PS6. All right. I think a lot of these companies got ahead of themselves. Okay. They were punching above their weight class. And I think that they were caught up in trying to make that next dollar, that they really forgot what was really important. And that's the gamers, the people who actually pay you. And I think they were approaching something, in my opinion, that they were flirting with disaster. And what I mean by that is, we're getting to a point where gaming, what's going on in the gaming sector and the prices and all of this stuff, these chip shortages and all that, guys, they're not giving other things a chance to shine. The PS5 has not lived out its potential. They're still making games for the PS4. They're still making games for that. Forgive me if I, turn my nose up at, an announcement of a PS6 coming out in 2027. Same thing with Xbox trying to mirror Sony. So what the chip shortage is doing, though, it is pissing people off, especially PC players, but it's also, making companies like Sony go ahead and say, okay, look, we're not going to be able to do this now. So what can we do? Let's focus on the hardware we have now and focus strictly on that. And so they have some time. They have a few more years, 2 or 3 more years, I think, that they can do this. And we can finally get our money's worth and finally, get what we want. Push these machines to their limit, because they have not been pushed yet. And we can, we can get some shit done. We can get some more titles. But all these cross-platform games that these guys are putting out, it's all greed. And if you follow the breadcrumbs, it's written clear as day. All right. They know that there are 100+ million PS4s out there in the wild still. And they have to, as a business, they have to cater to that. And the only way that they can do that is cross-platform a lot of these damn games. But you also alienate the people who bought the PS5s by not, giving us the extra quality that these systems can actually give us, right? Because they have to worry about the last gen consoles as well. So you're putting this messed up kind of spot. And all they were going to do with the PlayStation 6 was the same damn thing, right? They were going to put out the PS6 and they were going to be doing the same thing for the PS5s, because then everybody on that would have caught up and they'd have to do it again. So at least with this pause on putting out these systems, I'm looking at 2030, to be honest, maybe 2029, right? I'm looking at something like that. But if you wait at least that long, we will finally, I think, get games that are strictly, designed for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. And they will be able to actually go up under their hood and focus and draw more power and things out of the system. I think that's a good thing. And there's no rush to put out these other systems, guys. It's just not. There's no fucking rush. I don't know what these guys are thinking. Well, I do. But at the same time, how long can you as a business say, okay, we got to do this to make money. But then when you look up, oh shit, nobody's buying. Nobody's this, nobody's that. Right. And I've made this argument plenty of times before when it comes to, say PS4 versus PS5. How much better does the PS5 games look than the PS4 games? Can you really honestly tell me that there is just a definitive type of gap between those two? There may be in one or two games, maybe three or four tops. But outside of that, how much are we really talking here? We're to a point now in technology where we've kind of hit our ceiling. And so everything that's coming out now, it can only get so good. It can only get so much better than the previous, right? You can't sell somebody this TV that is going to be 4K, right? Because anything after that, anything higher than that, is diminished returns. So what ends up happening is everything else that's coming out around that time is getting cheaper and cheaper because now everything can pretty much do it. Even if you try to water something down, you can only water it down so much, right? Because it's still got certain things within it that still make it pretty pristine. And so anybody shopping for a new TV is going to look at this and say, oh, for a couple $100 more, or for $500 or $600 more, I can get this. But if I get this TV here, it only does one less thing. And I don't even need that thing that it doesn't do. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that. And in today's economy and how all that shit is going, what do you think a consumer is going to lean towards? What direction? So the writing is on the wall and it's catching up. Okay. A lot of these companies now aren't going to be able to snow the consumer or trick them or try to sell them lies or dreams that they do. And a lot of us have failed for, okay, in some of these trailers that we got for the PS5, right? Of how much more this system can do, 60 frames and on all of these things where we thought, oh, every game is 60 frames. No, okay, it's not. Or we're just getting games for the PS5 now, and we're not. We're getting cross-platform games. There's been times Sony has told us, oh, yeah, this is strictly only for the PS5. And then they turn around and make it cross-platform. OK, so they get you to buy the system. They get you in. And then once they got you, they got you. So that's what I'm saying. And I'm a Sony guy. I love Sony, but I'm just keeping it real. I'm telling the truth. All right. And now games are also becoming too fucking large. It's ridiculous. So there's a lot that can be said when it comes to where this market is going right now. All right. I think we've hit a ceiling and we're just floating. We're like that balloon that is floating, but it can't go any further, guys. It's kissing the roof. It's kissing the ceiling. It's not going to go any higher. And I think that's where we're approaching right now. And to add insult to injury, guys, all these prices that are skyrocketing for all these parts, it's crazy now. It's like ridiculous. And the tariffs have not helped the situation either. So it's just everything that can be bad is, stacked on top of each other right now. And so what a lot of people are doing, they're pulling back. A lot of people are doing other things. So I don't know. I mean, I would love to hear from you guys and want to pick some of your brains and the gamers out there. How do you feel about this? What do you think about all this? Do you plan on buying anything? Because, I mean, if you're grandfathered in, hey, that's cool. But for people who are out there thinking about picking up certain things, I mean, that ship has basically sailed unless you're ready to spend and overspend on a lot of this stuff, guys. And that's just how it is right now. It's just how bad do you want it? And most gamers who are avid gamers, they have something. There's not one avid gamer that doesn't have a game in their house. There's something that they still can pick up and play for most of us, right? This is not, somebody who's trying to get into it, a small child trying to get into gaming one day. And I feel bad for those kids sometimes, but it's not all bad, though. It's really not, because I kind of want to segue into the backlog and the retro games and how that's become a savior to a lot of us, including myself. I have so many games. And if you really sit back and think about it, I mean, I have enough games right now to play for a lifetime. Honestly, I do. I could play every game I have here and still probably wouldn't be able to finish them all. And that's saying something. And I think that's a mind thing as well. It is what it is. You know, we all have our vices, you know. Some people like to go to the track. Some people like to go shopping. Some people like to, you know, go hiking. And some people like playing games and buying games and collecting games. And I fall into that category. So that's where I'm at with that. And that's what a lot of people are leaning towards now with these prices, these crazy prices now for all of these things. It's just not a good look when you're, especially a PC gamer, because guys, that's pretty much why I just am not a PC gamer. Strictly, you know, the closest thing I got to a PC is a Steam Deck. And I don't think I'm going to go any further than that, especially now, because this is getting ridiculous and people feel like they have nowhere to turn. But yeah, I mean, I'm speechless. As far as the backlog is concerned, we all have a backlog of some sort. Most of us do. And there's games that whether you didn't finish them, whether you finished it and you want to go back and you've been thinking about another playthrough, there's all kinds of things, right, that you could do. And so a lot of people are doing just that. They're going back. They're in their bag. They're in their backlog and they're doing their thing. Also, the retro scene, a lot of people are going back and picking up older consoles of yesteryear, right? Because you can get them for a pretty cheap price. They're not that expensive, and they have awesome libraries, right? The PlayStation 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? I think you can get a PlayStation 4 right now for around $100, and I think there's going to be a lot more PS4s being played and being bought right now, because they have a huge library, awesome library. I think that's PlayStation's best in a long time, since the PlayStation 2 days. I think the best time to be a gamer if you wanted to get into gaming. And I'd say right now, that's what I would pick up. Now, if you want to go a little bit further back, then you could say Xbox 360. You can go, there's a plethora of things like Nintendo wise, GameCube, that's really popular, but there's a lot of these things that you can pick up now, and enjoy yourself with. Right. And so that's what a lot of people are doing. And, I got this Xbox 360 I got from my son, but shit, I'm going to be the one playing it the majority of the time. So, that's what I've been doing, or I'm about to do, about to hook this boy up tonight and, do something. I'm saying, these next couple of days. And I'll definitely report back to you guys next week and give you the insight. But I'm talking about not just that. Going back to the PSP or going back to the Nintendo 3DS or DS, and I'm going to get on that in two shakes of a lamb's tail, because there's some shit there that needs to be discussed when we're talking about Nintendo. But yeah, man, whatever you need to do or feel you need to do to, cull that thirst for gaming, whether it be retro, whether it be, whatever it is. Okay. Take care of that. Do that. So I'm grandfathered in. All the systems that I have now, I have more than enough to keep me busy. I do not need a new console. I was not going to buy a new console in 2026 or 2027. I was probably going to wait till 2020, probably 2028 or 2029 before I even thought about buying some new shit. Honestly, guys, and just live in the backlog. And like I said, the retro thing, there's emulation, there's all kinds of things out here for you. So you could do that. And so that's where I'm at on this particular subject right now. It's wild. And I kind of want to segue into my son, because, he's 12 years old and he's turned into an avid gamer. And I mean, like, not somebody who just plays games, but somebody who beats games. Okay. Finishes them pretty fucking fast. Okay. Because I just discovered the other day that he beat the fire giant in Elden Ring solo by himself. Well, he did it with a mimic tier. Okay. That shit is a feat. Okay. I couldn't do that. I had to have a friend, make that happen. Matter of fact, yeah, that shit was ridiculous. Okay, is what it was. And he did that. He's picked up Elden Ring before, earlier. He bought it. And, he kind of played with it a little bit, and then I said, oh, he's not ready for Elden Ring. But then he recently went back, and now he's knee deep in it. And I knew something was up because maybe a year ago or so, he was watching a lot of Elden Ring videos. This was right before I bought it for him. And he said he wanted it. And I thought he was playing. I mean, I thought he was play pimping because, you know, I was like, I don't know if Elden Ring is a different beast, man. I don't know if you really want that smoke, that digital smoke. And he did. Not right when he first got it, but shit, he's fell into his own with that game. And he's pretty much, he's got a few more bosses and he's still discovering stuff. He says he wants to 100% the game, and I believe he's going to do it. I really believe he's going to do it. He's busting his ass out there. He's doing shit in Elden Ring that I couldn't do. And I'm just being honest, solo, right? And so Elden Ring, you gotta be a certain type of player to play those and beat it. And you know what I'm saying? I've played them. I enjoyed them, but like solo out there like that, no. Now, like I said, my From Software game is the Armored Core stuff, and I'm cool with that, and I love that game, and I've beaten that and multiple times. But you know, Elden Ring is a different thing, and just me watching him play that and watching him out there in those digital streets like that, getting it in, I'm proud. I'm proud of him, and so he's doing his thing, and he also he really loves Cyberpunk a lot. He's beaten that game a couple of times, and he's saying that he's not done with that either. So, you know, he's doing his thing, man. He is definitely doing his thing. So, he's a little gamer, but he's an Xbox guy, and he's got his friends there, and he does that. So I think that's the reason why he hasn't really kind of got into the 360 like he maybe thought he would, is because of that. You know, when he's away from the Xbox Series X, he feels kind of detached. He feels like, he's playing with an arm missing or something like that. And when you're used to playing online and when you first started playing video games, it was already segregated. I mean, it was already implemented into it, right? So that's all you know. That's kind of how it feels, as opposed to somebody like me who grew up through all that without all that shit and then kind of adopted it and kind of live on both sides and can do both. So I'll take this Xbox 360 and I'm going to play the living shit out of it, right? But I can also go online with friends later and play, an Arc Raiders and get into some gangster shit. So it's just like that type of thing. And it's all good. You know what I mean? I told him earlier today, I said, that's the best, easiest $150 I spent. And that maybe was wasted by him technically, that I am happy about, because, any game console, game, anything that I buy, retro or otherwise, is going to get some play in this house. If he doesn't play it, I'm going to play it. It's almost like I gave him something to eat and he's walking to the trash can. I say, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm done. And I look at that drumstick. And basically all I'm doing with this Xbox 360 is I'm just taking that drumstick off of his plate and finishing it for him. That's pretty much what I'm doing. So analogies aside, he's doing his thing out here in these gaming streets. And so he's going to continue to do it. Anyway, off of that, and let's get to the final thing I kind of want to talk about. And that's these crazy goddamn prices for these 3DSs, man. These 3DS XLs are going up, way up. It came out of nowhere. Everybody's talking about it in the gaming scene and nobody really knows why. Everybody has their own analogy or why they think this is happening. And I just think it was some of the stuff I talked about earlier, which is, there's a nostalgia kick there. A lot of kids who had this are grown now and they can afford, some of this stuff and some of the games that they always wanted as a kid, but never had a chance to get for whatever reason. And they're going out and doing it. Right. And I think that's one part of it. I think another part of it is now that everybody's catching on to what the 3DS has done, which is, you no longer have access to the stores for the games and the eShop there. So that's gone. And the only thing a lot of people, I would say, were afraid of with Nintendo is that as long as that is available, nobody wanted to take the chance and, sacrifice that by modding their system. But now the modding community is crazy. It's becoming easier and easier to do. And people are modding their systems, right? I'm thinking about modding the Xbox 360 and it's not very hard. And so same thing is, thought about the Nintendo 3DS XL, and people are doing it. So now I actually have a modded DS. So, it's not that hard to do. And people are doing it. So I think that's another reason why this shit's going up in price. And like I said, people are wanting to experience different things. And a lot of people who are Nintendo fans, got into Nintendo, way after the 3DS's life cycle and towards the tail end of it. So they're like, yo, what is this? I kind of want to go grab this. So I think all the moves are just lining up together. I think that it's just a perfect storm, and people are making these things go up in price because now this shit is on the black market. You can't go to Nintendo and buy this shit. You have to get it secondhand or resellers and everything like that. So of course they're going to take advantage of the opportunities, and they're cashing out right now. Okay. And that's the same exact reason why I try to hold on to all of my shit, all of my hardware, because I told my son, yo, when I'm gone and whenever, hey man, pass this shit down to you. And then you try to hold on to this and pass it down to whoever. Right. Some of this stuff is crazy. I was at a movie trading company, which is a retro game store. And I was looking at Nintendo 64 games, some that I have, and these games were like 50 and $60. And I was like, yo, I have all of these. I was like, I'm good. Right. So, whenever I think about cleaning out the garage and, hey, I want to sell this or whatever, I slow it down. I say, let's relax and let's back up a taste. We don't need to sell any of this. Okay. So that's where I'm at now. And I have one of those Nintendo 3DS XLs right before the new Nintendo 3DS XLs came out with the little eraser kind of analog on that thing. I had the special edition Nintendo version. So it's got the colors of the Nintendo, the clamshell on the outside. It has like a controller of the original Nintendo controller on it. It's dope. Dope colors, dope everything. So I think that thing in itself is going to be a nice, is going to demand a pretty penny, and plus it's so pristine. Like, it's no damage on it. It's never been dropped. I still have the original box and everything that came with it. I treat all my games and all my stuff like royalty. So that's one thing for me, especially if I bought it brand new. It's going to look brand new. It's still going to be brand new. I'm not that type of guy, right? I like to conserve my stuff. So, all those things are dope. And those are the things I should, start playing more. And so, like I said, there's so many things to play. If you're a gamer, you don't have to worry about, PC or anything like that. But I do feel bad for the PC players. I'm going to keep it real. And it's just too much of a headache for me. Like, it really is. If you guys, I'm talking about more so the PC players who are playing like AAA games. Like, if you're playing AAA games, guys, it's bad news, man, because what's going to happen is these parts are already skyrocketing in price. Right. And the people who are even making the games, the devs and everything, guys, a lot of these games are going to require you to have certain chipsets and things in your computers. And if you don't have them, you're not playing that. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to play this AAA game that you thought you were going to play or that you were waiting for and you couldn't wait to get your hands on, right? Because your computer currently doesn't have that. And then you're like, oh, you need this piece or you need this upgrade. Guess what? $1,000 for this upgrade part. And you see what I'm saying? The butter is definitely on the counter then. And you're knocked out somewhere, booty up, right? With your pants down around your ankles. And somebody's getting ready to do something extremely strange to you. I'm not lying. It sounds funny. Yes, I'm laughing, but I'm not lying, guys. It's true. And those are headaches that I don't want in the PC world. Those are headaches that I can live without. I was a console gamer from the jump anyway. And that's how I came up. And maybe that's why I think the way I think. But I have dibbled and dabbled out there. And, there's only so much I can take and deal with that. over there on that side. I'm stick to the consoles, and the closest thing I am going to ever get probably to a PC was going to be Valve's Steam box when it ever comes out, which is probably going to be halted because they still haven't released the price of that. I think they're too scared, too shook. They don't want to announce it right now. They're trying to see how this is going to pan over because they're going to have to keep producing these and making these things. And if the prices are going to be as high as this, they're going to have to raise their prices. So that's the dilemma, man. If you're a PC gamer, especially, or if you're somebody who is or was wanting that PlayStation 6 or that new Xbox system, and you thought it was coming out in 2027, it's not going to because of that reason right there. So they don't want to push themselves out of the market, and that's what you'll end up doing if you charge too damn much for these. And then on top of that, there's really nothing available when these games first drop. I hear a lot of people bitching and moaning about Nintendo and the Switch 2. And now they're upset and they're angry with themselves because there's really nothing else to play. Nintendo is moving like a snail, okay, on dropping these exclusive games that they have. And they're so focused on third party shit that, it's ridiculous. And, it is what it is. You can't hate because they are selling consoles, but there's a lot of people who have buyer's remorse because of it. And now, wish that they would have went in another direction. That's all I'm saying. And people who are avid gamers like me, we're a dying breed. We're not out there like that. Okay. There's a small number of us. So gamers like us usually own multiple consoles, and, we actually partake in, what goes on behind the scenes sometimes. And we have our ears to these streets and things of that nature. So we're not just going to jump and buy certain things if we haven't done our research and stuff like that. We're not your typical, gamer or sheep, I like to call them sometimes, who are just going to buy the biggest and brightest thing because there's a name slapped on it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And that's it, man. I mean, that's my show. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the show, I hope to see you again. We do this every Monday, same bad time, same bad channel. I'm tired as hell, though. I'm sleepy and just hadn't been getting sleep like I should have. And I'm going to try to remedy that, man. It's really hard sometimes. Your boy is just, he's an insomniac, man. It's very hard to turn his brain off at night or just in general when it's time to go to sleep. So it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Also, guys, if you have not done it, please go subscribe to your boy's YouTube channel. I'm trying to get my first 100 subs. I think I'm at like 95 or something like that. Trying to get my first 100, man. They say the first 100 and the first 1,000 are the hardest to get. All right. And I think 80% of people, like 82% or something like that, only get to 100. So I'm almost there. So I'm trying to get in there and be that, the 18%, I guess, and try to get that first 100 done. So do that for your boy. I'm going to be posting at least every other day. So got a lot of stuff coming for the month of January and beyond. So definitely, take some time and subscribe to the channel. Okay. And, I'm going to hook up this Xbox 360 and, try to go to sleep and then enjoy these couple of days that I have off. And I'll see you guys next week, man. And we'll be talking more shit. So I love you guys dearly. And I will see you guys next week. This is your boy Studio MacGyver. And you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.